So here is one angle. What does a midpoint do?
It tells us that each side is equal to each other.
So it cuts a line in half. A midpoint cuts a line in half. So angles have midpoints. But angle midpoints are called bisectors. If something is bisected, it's cut in half. So I can draw an angle bisector here. So ray IM is an angle bisector. It cuts the angle in half. That means that this piece and this piece are now equal to each other. So lines have midpoints, angles have bisectors. You see the relationship? Kind of. So if this angle is 50, how big is this angle? 50. If both of those angles are 50, how big is the big angle? That's called angle addition. This piece plus this piece equals the whole thing. Does that kind of make sense? On the back part of your homework, it's going to offer you guys something like that. It's going to say in words, ray IM is an angle bisector. What's that? Ray IM is an angle bisector. It's going to say angle BIM equals 2x plus 10. It's going to say angle MIG equals x plus 30. And then you're going to have the aptitude, the algebraic skills to solve that expression. Blank stares.
I'm trying to do it in my head.
So let's not do it in our head. That's too much work. How big is angle BIM?
50.
2x plus 10. How big is angle MIG? What is the only thing you know about those two angles? They're equal to each other. Does that make sense? They're equal because ray IM is the angle bisector. It cuts the angle in half.
I know what x equals.
Now, I love it, Joey, but nobody cares about
That's
X.
not my name.
Mike,
Thank you.
no one cares about X. But give me what your X is.
20.
He's got 20. Let's check his work. Minus X. Minus X. So far, so good. So Mikey nailed it. But yeah, we all got that, but no one cares about X because X is not the answer to the question. How big is angle BIM? 50. 2 times 20 is 40 plus 10 is 50.
We have to automatically assume it as well.
Well, you never automatically assume anything.
But we just said that we're doing bisecting.
Yeah,
You just assume the degree of that angle.
yeah, but you know it's always good to check because if you put it in there and it equals 40, you know you screwed up somewhere. So they do equal 50, and the whole angle is now 100. It's the same thing. So that's your kind of angle bisector, huh?
You keep it 100 with us.
Always, every time. So, like I said, we're learning 5 things today. Here's the first 3, all on one piece. This is actually in your notes. This is where you student follow along. Has anybody ever heard the term complementary? Yes? What does complementary mean? So there's a difference between hearing it and knowing it. So hearing it's half the battle.
They cover it.
So some people say complementary angles are like, hey, angle, you have great hair today.
Things that go together.
So 2 complementary angles have to add up to a specific degree measurement. And here's how I remember that. It's kind of like a pick the definition. How many degrees do complementary angles add up to? 90. Pretty cool, huh? Some people like to say that the P's look like 9s, so you could say complementary is 90. So complementary angles, then we're talking about angle pairs. If you have a pair of shoes on, how many shoes are you wearing? 2. It's only 2. So it's 2 angles that add up to 90. And then it's supplementary. What do you think that one means? It is 180. So if you use that same trick, this P gets a 90, this P gets a 90, 90 and 90 made.
Or that you
180.
like a straight one.
So I don't like the 90 trick because you have to know that it is either 90 or 180. That's kind of, I like drawing a line right here. You can also draw a line right here. What does that S turn into? An 8, 180. So it turned into a 180. So those are 2 things. All right. Let me get rid of that because I need more space. Now, complementary and supplementary angles can be adjacent. There's word number 3. And they just kind of sneak that in there like you're supposed to understand what adjacent means. That is a very loaded statement. It is very, very confusing.
That means next to each other, correct?
Yeah.
It
Or touching
means,
on corners?
I like to say like neighbor angles. Neighbor angles. Alright, I'm going to give you the literal definition here in a minute.
Carlos is adjacent to Jeff.
False. Sorry. So, the literal definition for adjacent angles. 2 angles that share a side and a vertex and no common interior points. So, this is a good example of adjacent. And hopefully you guys watched how I drew it. You draw one angle, and you draw a ray inside of it. So it's 2 angles that are split into 2 pieces. It's
So
one
it's a
big
bisector.
angle split into 2 small angles. And the reason I say that, they have to share a common side. They have to have a side in common, they have to have a vertex in common, and there can't be any interior points. Common interior points. So this is, I'm playing Minecraft in my room. Carlos is doing geometry homework in his room. Can I knock on the wall and get Carlos's attention and ask for the answer for number 5?
No.
Yes, I can. I go like this. I just knock on the wall and I can get your attention. Now, what if,
Like guillotine,
focus, what if is that an example of adjacent angles? But they're touching each other. So look at this. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption in my room. You're playing Darth Vader in your room. Now listen,
That's amazing.
if I'm playing Red Dead in my room and Joey's playing Darth Vader in his room, are we in different rooms?
Yeah.
No! Where's the wall that separates us? So that fails the common interior points. I can just walk over and start playing Darth Vader with Joey if I want
Dark
to.
Souls, got it.
Alright? So we cannot be in the same room. They have the same side, but they have different vertices. So again, the definition, common vertex, common side, don't share any common points. At this point, me and Joey, we're roommates, we're bunk buddies. So let's look at a different one. There's Captain America's room. See it? There's Iron Man's room. Are those adjacent angles?
Yeah.
No.
No. Look, here's Captain America's room, this whole blue room right here. Here's Iron Man's room, this whole red room right here. Are they neighbors? No, Captain America has his space. Iron Man has his space, but they have this shared space right here. That's where Civil War happens. Okay? So it's a very, very complicated definition. The best way to explain it, adjacent angles look like one angle that's been broken into two angles. That is only what adjacent angles look like. Okay, so let's do some weird stuff here.
I like weird stuff.
Of course you do, Mikey. Dude, I can't wait till I get home to play some Darth Vader.
Probably should hang it on my Darth Vader grill.
Yeah. What's all about that Darth Vader?
Should we draw?
Just get it.
Okay, you see angle 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Yes.
Here's the question. I'm asking you guys to put all this stuff together. Can you name a pair of complementary angles? Please, verbalize that.
We know we can't.
You can.
Oh.
Okay, so let's take a step back here a second. What does complementary mean?
It was 90
It means 90. I'm looking for two angles that make 90 degrees.
One and five. We'll say 1 and 3.
Angle 1 and angle 3 make 90, right? 40 plus 50 makes 90. Those are complementary. Does that make sense? Are they adjacent? They don't touch each other. But they are still complementary.
180.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You see a 180 up there? Which ones are 180s?
2 and 4.
2 and 4 are 180s. That's weird. What do we really call that?
Supplementary.
Supplementary. Angle 2 and angle 4 are supplementary angles. Do you see a pair of adjacent angles up there?
Jason.
Angle 1 and angle 2, but they add up to 110 degrees. They're still adjacent. Is there a name for angles that add up to 110? No, there's not. They're just two angles that add up to 110. So look, you're already applying more than half the vocabulary I've taught you guys. Complementary, supplementary, and adjacent. So just to kind of clear it up, here is an example of what you might see in this class. There's two angles over there. Angle 1 and 2 are a complementary, adjacent pair of angles. They make 90 and they touch each other. But angle 3 and 4 are just complementary. They just make 90 and they don't touch each other. And look at supplementary angles. 5 and 6 are supplementary angles. They add up to 180 and they touch each other. 7 and 8, supplementary. They don't touch each other. Does that kind of make sense? There it is, guys. 3/5 of the math gone down the drain. 2 more things to learn.
We go through all 30 pages.
Yeah, like, yeah. I was
Then,
like,
oh.
So now let's apply that in a mathematical representation. I'm asking you guys to name. That's what we did yesterday. Name complementary angles, name supplementary angles, name adjacent angles. We'll do that in 3 steps. You're driving the boat right now. You're the captain now. Where do you want to stop first? 1, 2, or 3? 1. So you're asking, naming a pair of complementary angles. Who wants to give it a go? Go ahead, Carlos.
32 and 58.
Carlos.
Those aren't names,
Joey says, Carlos, those are not names.
Sorry.
So Carlos is going to name the 32-degree angle and name the
Okay.
angle.
Angle CAB and angle RST. You happy?
I'm happy because that gets you credit. You would be unhappy when you lose credit for saying that, right? I'm just trying to get you guys ready.
I
Just want you to be ready. No surprises. Perfect. Does 32 and 58 make 90?
Yep.
Nailed it. He's right all day, every day. Where do you want to stop next? Stop 2 or stop 3? Number 2, supplementary angles, and you infer that supplementary adds up to 180. Who wants to give that a go? Nope. Go ahead.
CAD.
Angle CAD and
TSR.
angle TSR. Nailed it. Does 122 and 58 make 180?
Yes.
Okay, let's go for the adjacent pair of angles, our last stop on the voice.
CB.
You've already played. Somebody else who wants to play. Go ahead.
Devin, thank you for.
She's, that's a D right
BAC.
there. Angle
Oh, sorry.
BAC.
And then angle CAD.
Nailed it. Now I'm teacher hacking this right now. I'm trying to subliminally put things in your mind. What am I doing? Teaching. Here's a teachable moment. Notice how I wrote this. One angle and the other angle. One angle and the other angle. Then for adjacent, I wrote them on top of each other.
Because they're both.
Because that's a drawing and the other ones are measurements.
No, because they don't have
Because
any
those
ends.
add up to make.
Here's why. Adjacent angles, by definition, have a common vertex. Do they both share A?
Oh, you're right.
By definition, adjacent angles have a common side. Do they both have AC?
Yes.
Yes. So by writing it like that, you can verify if they are or are not adjacent. Thank you. Thank you. A little bit more math. Now you're actually going to do math, right? Given angle 1 is a complement of angle 2, and the measure of angle 1 is 68 degrees, what is the measure of angle 2? Lots of stuff there. You're on the right track. Complementary is? Complementary is 90 degrees. Yeah, I get you, right? I get it. So you're saying that angle 1 and angle 2 have to add up to 90 degrees. That's what you said. It tells us that angle 1 is how big? And you did angle addition in your mind. That's what you did in your mind.
We don't need to do that. Yeah. Just in case.
Hooray! You're almost there.
You forgot the degree sign.
Okay? You're closer, but you're still equally as far.
Angle. Measurement of angle 2.
We're trying to answer what is the measurement of angle 2. The measurement of angle 2 is 22 degrees. Do you see how it's kind of the same math for the next question? What's the only part that changes?
It's a supplementary angle this time,
So-
so it has to add the 180.
That's it. So when you write your angle addition out, angle 3 and angle 4 have to add up to 180 because they're supplements of each other now. And they tried to trick you just a little bit. Did you see how they tried to trick you?
Oh, they put angle 4 as the one that's given.
Angle 4 is the given angle. Guys, that is a very common test-taking thing where I try and trick you and put like the second angle is given, not the first one. So just be very careful. Yes, the answer is 124. But do you know which angle is 124?
Angle 3.
The measure of angle 3 equals 124 degrees. Am I going too fast with this stuff? Is it kind of making sense? Okay, so now we're going to start the next chunk.
Yes.
Item number 4.
Number
Okay.
4.
No.
Okay, this has been the most often confused one all day. I say that because I drive what I say based on your reaction. So if I'm not saying it right or you don't understand it, you have to stop me so I can fix it. Here is my definition for a linear pair. What does that say?
Line.
What does that say?
Pair.
A linear pair is a pair of angles that make a line.
So,
So why would they put this geometric verbal diarrhea on the board? Two adjacent angles are a linear pair if their non-common sides are opposite rates.
but you just added 3 of our vocabulary.
Right, and like, you're right. I just
Oh.
added adjacent, linear pair, non-common sides. There's 4 new words in one stupid definition. Those are like 3 or 4
Well,
days
opposite
old.
rays was not.
Non-common's a new one too, isn't it? So I'm
That's
gonna
gonna
work
make like
this
3.
backwards. I'm gonna work this backwards. Opposite rays are really what? A line. So just based on the definition, line pair, I'm gonna go backwards. I'm gonna draw a line, which is also opposite rays, and I'm gonna make a pair of angles.
What would you say?
Boom. That is the only way to make a linear pair. Yeah?
Yeah.
Is there something else you can say about linear pairs? Yes. They are adjacent. That's part of the definition. They have, sorry, they have to be adjacent to be to be a linear pair. But specifically, linear pairs are always supplementary. Holy math words, guys. If you don't understand one of those words, you're lost. And then the angles in a linear pair are
Adjacent. Oh. Adjacent.
supplementary. And here's the only way it's going to work. For it to be a linear pair, you must start with this. What classify that angle?
Just straight.
Straight. Straight. How many degrees is a straight angle? 180. So no matter what I do to it, how many degrees is that whole angle?
180.
That's why they're always supplementary. Does that kind of make sense? What does pair mean? 2. So look at this linear pair.
Whoa.
Did Baker just break you?
Yes.
Possible.
Is that red angle a linear pair?
Yeah, yes, because it's still 180.
So Carlos says yes because it's still 180. How many angles is it taking you to make 180 degrees?
3.
Linear pair. See the discrepancy here? So it can only be 2 angles. Only 2. You put on a pair of shoes, are you putting on your left shoe, your right shoe, and carrying the shoe in your hand? No. That's why pair doesn't work. So, and I always go backwards to draw a linear pair, draw a line, draw a ring. So now that you're completely comfortable with linear pair, I can offer you this.
That's great.
I'm asking you to identify a linear pair.
1 and 4. Angles 1.
Okay, 4 and 5.
Those are
Line. Now it's a pair of angles. Nailed it. Does everybody see 4 and 5 as a linear pair? Okay, I heard someone else say, but there's more. 1 and 4 question mark? Line. Split it. Nailed it. Is there anything else that you see that's a linear pair? 2 and 3. Is this a line?
no.
So no. What can you call this?
Supplementary. That's adjacent.
Adjacent.
That's the same. In that map.
Adjacent. They are just neighboring angles.
But they would. Wait, no, it would be supplementary.
So
Wait, no.
they would only be supplementary if if they added up to 180. Does that make a line that makes 180? No, you're good, man. Like I appreciate it. Last one here. The last word. Vertical angles. It took me 8 years to come up with this definition. Right? Because people always suck at this one. So whatever I have to do, please hold your applause.
I wasn't even following you.
Does that even make sense? Why I drew it that way?
Yes.
So if you see that, pick the definition there. Then you pick a pair of vertical angles out from the question over there. So look over here. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Which ones are vertical angles? 3 and 6. Look. If you draw 2 lines, they eat 3 and 6. I also like to call them little bow tie angles. Little bow tie angles. Bow ties are cute, but is that the only pair of vertical angles?
I'm gonna buy a bow tie now.
I wore a bow tie to my own wedding. Facts. It was camouflage.
That is awesome.
That's a who's cat vertical angle.
You wear camo tux too?
No. 4 and 5 are also vertical angles. That's more like the pick the definition over here. So by definition, vertical angles are formed by 2 lines intersecting. Period. Who likes Illuminati? Here we go, guys. I'm about to ruin it right now.
Okay. You have fun.
Alright, you ready? I want you to use some math speak. I don't want to erase all that. I want you guys to use some math speak to describe angle 4 and angle 6.
They're a linear
One at a
pair.
time here. What?
They're a linear pair.
They are a linear pair. Agree or disagree? Agree. Super loaded statement. What does linear pair mean? They are adjacent. They make a line. 180. Linear pairs are supplementary. They add up to 180. Let's make that happen. 100 and 80. Are they still a linear pair? Are they still supplementary? Okay, let's look at a different pair of angles. Use some math talk to describe the red angles now.
Linear pair.
Supplementary, still a linear pair. So if they are supplementary and a linear pair, they add up to, well, this one's already 80, so what does this one have to be?
100.
Huh, that's weird. Hey, but wait, what about these angles?
80. 30 is 80.
Why is it 80?
Because you have to have 180.
Why does it have to be 180?
Because that's what you're telling us.
Because they're supplementary, because they're a linear pair. But wait,
There's more.
what about these 2 angles right here? Are they supplementary?
Yes.
Are they a linear pair?
Yes.
They already add up to 180. So, vertical angles are
Supplementary.
vertical angles are supplementary. 100 and 100 make 180. Wrong! Vertical angles, remember, these are vertical angles. Do those add up to 180?
No.
There's something weird about
They're
them.
equal.
They're equal.
Yes.
No.
Give me.
Love my job.
I'm not such a fan of another word.
That's great.
Congruent.
Congruent. Okay, I get it, right? I get it.
It's close.
It's almost the same for you guys right now because I haven't made the distinction. Congruent is same size, same shape. It is the picture of the angle. The pictures are the same size. As soon as I put a number in there, they become equal to each other. There's a huge difference. You have to use the vertical angle theorem to say they're equal. Too much? Too much? So, vertical angles are always equal to each other. They're always congruent to each other. And I use the Illuminati to prove that. Does that kind of make sense? So let's try it again. Let's try a more complicated picture. Hey, that looks familiar.
Is that the same one as example one?
Hey, that's.
Angles 2 and 4 and angles 1.
Angles 2 and 4. Skirt. Hold the brakes. Here's angle 2. Oh, that's angle 4.
Never mind, I did it wrong.
I'm glad you noticed that. What immediately told you nope?
Because I actually looked at it.
Do they appear to be the same size?
What is it like? I can't see them, but I don't know.
Okay. 1 and 5. Here is a line.
Oh.
Here is a line. Do they eat 1 and 5?
That is really good.
Ooh. Well, triangles. That one works. You see how it's just 2 lines, 2 yellow lines make vertical angles. Is there anything else up there?
No. Let me see. Wait.
No.
Is there
2
anything
and
else,
3 and
or
5.
are there any
2 and
other-
3?
Yeah, I'd put them together.
No.
And then,
That's.
oh no, 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 no. I didn't.
4 and 5 are very.
I didn't do that.
4 and 5 are a linear pair. So 4 and 5 are a linear pair. But we're looking at vertical angles right here. So the only vertical angles up here are 1 and 5. Throwback.
Oh boy.
It's
Thursday.
So here's what's about to happen. I'm about to force you guys to use geometry that you just learned, just to give you the opportunity to use algebra that you should already know. What a great teacher I am.
You're
So
horrible.
many gifts. Let me read this to you in my teacher voice. Example number 3, algebra. 2 angles form a linear pair. The measure of one angle is 5 times the measure of the other. Find the measure of each angle. Well, there's only one part that's geometry in this whole sentence.
Angle.
Is the linear pair.
That's it. 2
Oh,
angles
also
are a
angle.
linear pair. What should you do right now?
Draw.
Get to draw.
Draw a, yes, draw a line. That is part 1 of drawing a linear pair. How do you make it a pair of? Now, it's a linear pair. It's a pair of angles that make a line. One angle is 5 times the measure of the other.
So.
Wait, wait, no.
So I'm gonna look. Let's do this for some clarity here. How big is angle 1? We don't know. What do we call we don't know in geometry? X. I know angle 1 is x big. So then angle 2 is 5 times bigger than that,
Which is also, I think.
5 minutes.
just 5x. 5 times bigger than that. Then you use all of your geometric skills to recognize the fact that
We have one.
first angle and the second angle add up to x.
Oh, sorry.
180, because this is geometry.
Sorry.
That is the angle addition postulate. The first angle plus the second angle equals the whole thing, and we know the whole thing is 180. So then we combine like terms.
Dividing.
You could just do 186, right? And that would get you 6 or 30, my bad.
That's not our
Math
answer.
right
Let's
now.
figure out
So-
X.
That nobody cares about x. That's why they're x's. We broke up with them. They're in the past. So
Yeah,
use
making sure
that
that-
x to grow. How big is the first angle? How big is angle 2? That's what we care about. The measure of each angle. Do those angles add up to 180? Guys, it's math magic. It's math magic.
No.
And then you're putting your notes away because There's nothing else on there, right?
Yeah, there's no.
Don't do it.
But Devin knows better. He's still got his pencil in his hand because he wants to see the last picture.
I don't want, oh god.
So look, there's 3 words that should come out of your mouth. Tell whether the angles are vertical, linear pair, or neither. That's it. You have 3 options, A, B, or C. Vertical, linear pair, or neither. Okay? I'm going to go with green because it makes me happy. 4 and 6. We got a neither and we got a linear pair.
Yeah.
So you're saying that these 2 angles are a linear pair and they add up to 100. Is it 2 or is it 3? So it's not linear pair. It's neither. That's a neither answer. That's the one that tricks you, right?
5, 6 is a little tricky, but
5 and 6.
we know that.
Is that a pair of angles that make a line? No,
Oh, I've seen that one.
it's not linear pair.
What about adjacent?
It's not on.
What about adjacent?
Oh.
Yes, they are adjacent. Are they vertical? No. Are they linear? So it's neither, but they are adjacent. They happen to be adjacent. What about 7 and 8?
Now that's.
Linear pair. It's 2 angles that make a line. What about 1 and 2?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's.
Yes, 1 and 2 are linear pair. It took you a little longer because I didn't highlight it for you.
But I saw because it literally is just.
What about 9 and 12?
Dude.
Vertical angles. Look, here's one line right here. Here's one line right here. Little angry eyes looking at you. Like, learn math, please. What about 2 and 6?
I see it, but
I heard no. That's not what it means.
Just no.
Alright, so guys, look at all the stuff I dumped in your toolbox today. When this class started, you had no idea what complementary, supplementary, or linear pair was. Now you
but there's more.
you're comfortable.
It's the second
Wait.
But
There's
there's
more.
more.
Yeah, soon it's just gonna be argued.
Like,
So I lied to you. You said there was 13, but there's only 11.
What's
what
it-
if
what's
there's
on the
something on the
13th?
13th slide?
Huh?
Cool.
Why would
Thank you,
do
Kanye.
that?
Very
What's on the
cool.
14th one?
It's
Uh,
cool.
What's on the 14th one?
You.
Is that an E or no?
You have homework.
Heart, smile. I love you too, bigger.
Are we going to the 15th page?
Yeah, it's on the
Yeah.
15th page.
Yeah, but it's on the 15th.
An answer to a test question?
Yeah, I definitely want to go on the 15th.
Yeah, where's my homework?
I'm
He didn't
sorry.
say it had anything to do with geometry.
Oh, like,
Like second grade.
when does this due?
Number 22.
Do we have homework though already?
Awesome.
Yo, hold up, let
We
me.
have 2 things.
But what if he's not?
I
We're
don't
assuming that's the
believe
right
that.
answer.
But I'm still gonna save it.
Wait, should you pass it out?
Which
So we-
test though?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got? Another
You'll
one?
never know.
Just all of them. 22 is a.
Eventually 22 will be A,